My name is Clayton Smith. I am a Vice President of Strategy and Plans at Patricio Enterprises. But I am also the chair of the chairperson of the board for Rappahannock United Way. I want to share both an event of sorts and truly a historical figure that has shaped my life. I am a retired Marine, nearly 22 years of active service in all climes and places, as we are fond of saying. That 22-year event shaped me in many ways, but the singular event that solidified for me the bond that I believe shaped all of us Marines and Marine All-Weather Fighter Attack Squadron 332 happened one night in 1980 in a Navy Enlisted Club in Guam, while on layover returning to the United States from a one-year deployment to the Western Pacific. We were an interesting unit. But there was not much unity when we began our deployment in 1979. The same kind of division between races that was emblematic in our society at home was reflected in Marine units at home and abroad. I remember well the first unit event upon arriving in Iwakuni, Japan was an emptying of the barracks for a fight between white and black Marines. It was ugly, but as with most things between men, especially Marines, who would grow to be like brothers, we, over time, worked through the things we thought separated us and found cohesion in the many things we discovered we had in common. Fast forward a year later to that enlisted club in Guam, my very close friend, Kerry Caesar Clark, KC, and I'm using these names because I have not been able to find these men for years and would be in debt to anyone hearing this who could connect me with either of them. Casey was from the south side of Chicago. Greg Piasek, Ski, was from someplace in Tennessee. Those two men could not have been more different, or seemingly so. Casey was black, Ski was white. They talked differently, had different slang, appreciated different entertainment, and seemed to share nothing in common when they first met. But in the moments that found them in the same place that night in Guam, nothing separated one of them from the other. The events over the past year, the living together, working together, training together, playing together, finding common cause, made us one. So when KC put a quarter in the jukebox and hit play on a Michael Jackson song, a drunken sailor loudly asked, "Who put that N-word music on?" KC spun on his Chicago heels, and you could just see what was coming next. But blonde-haired, blue-eyed Tennessee Ski, at 6'2" and with the physique of a competitive bodybuilder, stepped in front of KC and with only his eyes looked at KC and said, "No." Two things happened next. KC, to our amazement, stood down. Ski, on the other hand, wheeled around and landed a blow on that sailor that immediately put him to sleep. We all looked at Ski, and we all smiled, and we all walked out, and our host, in stunned silence, made way to allow that to happen while their friend slept peacefully on the floor. I'm not advocating violence in this story. I'm pointing out a transformation that gave me hope that people of different and diverse backgrounds can find common cause, common ground when we focus on the things that unite us instead of those things that divide us. The historical figure who impacted me never knew that he did. I never met him. He was well known across the Marine Corps during the same time I just described and remains an icon in the annals of the Marine Corps today. His name is Frank Peterson. Peterson enlisted in the Navy in June 1950 and served as an electronics technician before entering the Naval Aviation Cadet Program. In October 1952, only 4 years after President Truman desegregated the armed forces, he completed flight training and accepted a commission as a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps. A seasoned combat veteran, Peterson went on to command a Marine fighter squadron, a Marine aircraft group, a Marine amphibious brigade, a Marine aircraft wing, and after rising to the rank of Lieutenant General, was Commanding General of Marine Corps Combat Development Command right here at Quantico, Virginia. At the time of his retirement, he was, by date of aviator designation, the senior ranking aviator in the United States Marine Corps and in the U.S. Navy, with respective titles of Silver Hawk and Gray Eagle. At the time of his retirement, his date of designation as an aviator also preceded all other aviators in the U.S. Air Force and the Army. So why was General Peterson such an inspiration to me? A man whom I never met. General Peterson was what many of my peers thought could not be. He was both an aviator and a general, and he was black. The first black aviator in the Marine Corps and the first black general officer. As reported by the New York Times at the time of his death, Frank Peterson suffered bruising racial indignities as a military enlistee and was even arrested at an officers' club on suspicion of impersonating a lieutenant. In flight school, he was reportedly told by his instructor that he would never fly. Well, you heard the rest of that story. So for a young enlisted Marine like myself, who had never even seen a black pilot or a black officer of any kind for that matter, to know that there was just one who had known such great success was a singular inspiration to me. I thought of him when I, a young Marine enlisted man, made the decision to apply for a commissioning program, just as he had done when he was a young enlisted sailor. His inspiration motivated to me to reject the assertions by some of my peers that a black man could not become an officer in this man's Marine Corps. Of course, there are many others who have since walked that trail that General Peterson blazed years ago. Many live right here in Northern Virginia. They too continue to inspire me.